then welcome everybody to the stream. Hope you're all doing well today. We are, let me just change it. We're 13 days away from my expected play mode end date. So this is just for the very basic alpha release, which I'm aiming to get out at some point. It's not a lot of time, so I guess in a way taking the day off yesterday was a bad idea, but we'll see. We have, well, I've changed up the way that the board effect works. So following on from some feedback, we now have a class for the effect, which has a phase that it's going to be played on, a type, a numeric, and a target. So what we will do is today we will look at trying to fill all of these in for damage, and then like for the healing, everything should be fairly copy paste in a way. So there's that. Now the only like the one that I'm thinking is going to be the trickiest here is probably going to be when we have to request that the user sets a target, because basically it's going to be a little bit more complicated than the others, but it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. And I've just realized what we need to do here is also check for self, but not with that spelling. So we have a few different ways in which the card on its board death could affect anything in the game. So we've already worked on the opponent board. So what we'll work on first, I think, is probably just going to be the opponent and the user's very own. Okay, so the user's very own face, basically. So else if user.facing .effect.type is damage, and the user.facing.effect.target is equal to op. So this is just straight damage to the opponent's face. What we will do is we will say here, so we will do op.sorcerer.hp minus equals the user.facing.effect.numeric. Now I need to do a capital E over here, .numeric. Now before we do this though, what we should do is say if the op.sorcerer.hp is less than the user.facing.effect.numeric, then we need to basically end the game. So we need to say we need to just end the game. So find loss. Here we go. In fact, we should do this. Okay. So we should do this, except this should say user.socket.emit win and op.socket.emit loss.
So
then what we need to do is... yeah, this will get hit afterwards, right? I was just double checking in my head there. This actually just, I think, should work. So this will just take down the opponent's Sorcerer's HP. Then, though, we would have to emit update Sorcerers. So we've done most of this already. It's just a case of picking out the correct parts. So we update both Sorcerers after that has been done. Well, do we? Because if we're already updating the Sorcerers, right, then why don't we just let that happen there? It's probably the best way to do it. Because we're already doing this pretty much. So we've done that for the opponent. Now let's say self. So we want to do user.sorcerer.hp. We do this. And user.sorcerer.hp. And the other way we need to do this is also say loss here and a win here. Whoops. Okay, so that's fairly simply how we are going to take away HP from the user or from the opponent. So now what we need to do is we need to check for all minions. So else if user.facing.effect.type is damage and user.facing.effect.target is equal to all minions, then what we're going to do is we are going to what we're going to do is we're going to do something like this. So we're going to do it for the opponent board, and we're also going to do it for our own board. So for let j equals 0, j is less than the user dot board dot length j plus plus, and if user dot board j dot defense minus user.facing.effect.numeric is bigger than 0, then the user.board in the position j dot defense minus equals the user.facing.effect.numeric. Else the user.void.push the thing on the board in the position j, and then we do user.board.splice in j for the position 1, and we do j minus minus. Cool. So that should be all minions then taking damage. Then we need to do just all. So we basically are going to copy this. So copy here, paste. Now I probably will change this around at some point because having this, like it's going to be here twice at the moment, is a bit too much. So we'll probably call it in a different function. Now, if we are just calling this as all, then we're going to do all of those above things, and we're going to do these things. So we're going to do this one, and we're going to do this one as well. Okay. So I guess what we want to do then is handle this a little bit differently with this game end. What we should do is we should do if user.facing.hp is this and this is the case. So let's just do these for now. Then what we will do is we will do a user.socket.emit game end, isn't it? Yeah. And we pass through draw. And then we do an op.socket.emit game end draw. I guess we can pull this down to here as well then. And what we want to do here is say else if the user.sorcerer.hp is less than the user.facing.effect .numeric and the op.sorcerer.hp is bigger than the user.facing. Whoa. Where have I copied this line from? This is wrong. No, it's not. .effect, .numeric, never mind. So the user.sorcerer.hp and this, and then what we'll do is we'll do a user.socket.emit game end, and this means that the user loses, but the opponent wins. Else if the user.sorcerer.hp is bigger than the user.facing.effect.numeric and the op.sorcerer.hp is less than the user.facing.effect.numeric, then we'll do user.socket.emit game end win and an op.socket.emit game end loss. Okay, else we will do these. Do we actually handle anything else? Because if both users are still alive, like we're doing this anyway, right? Because we update the screen. Now, did I make that the case up here? Yes, I did. Okay. So then this here, this doesn't need an else. This is all fine and dandy. So this should do damage to all. So let's just go up here, and for now what we will do is we'll copy this. Again, I will be changing this up later because at the moment this isn't quite in the right position for me, I don't think. Okay. So, alright, we got rid of the comments, didn't we? So the only comment left is that we need to check for a target for these spells. So I guess what we need to do then is test out each and every one of these. So we've got a damage AoE where we do an entry damage 1 to the opponent board. Now the one after the opponent board is just the opponent, right? So let's save this and let's run the server and open up 2 clients. So this should have every single minion dealing 1 extra damage to the opponent when it dies. Okay. So when we do this and this, attack dual opponent, end dual phase. Okay. So when these two... Oh no, sorry, it's already done. Yeah. So you see that they've both gone down 1 HP. That shows that that is working pretty much. So let's just double check then what happens when one person has a 1 drop and one person doesn't. So hopefully one of them only gets a 1 drop here. Neither of them did, that's fine. As long as only one person gets a 2 drop here, that's fine. Yeah. So we should see red going down 3 HP here. Sorry, green going down 2, red going down 1. Done. So that shows that the doing damage to the opponent when the card dies is working, which is good. So what we now will check is if we deal damage to ourselves or to the person that kills the minion. So this could be a mechanic where a very strong card will deal extra damage to the user Is it because I didn't concede? I'm fairly sure that would be what it is, right? No. I had to restart the server there because I screwed up. Okay. Apologies for that. It's just a issue at the moment where... Actually, yeah, I did need to restart the server anyway, so that was my fault. My fault entirely. So what we should see here then, so this guy doesn't have one. This 1 drop, when we kill it and it enters the board, our HP should go down to 48. Sorry, the red guys. I know how my own game works, trust me. So we attack it, there we go. We've taken extra damage because we took it down. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Let's just give it another check. So we're expecting 45, 47. And there we go. We both take the damage. Sweet. So instead of self now, what we want is all minions. So this is one that could get a little bit interesting. So we need to restart the server because we changed the server file. And let's give this another go. Okay. Kill you two. Get rid of you two. Okay. So we shouldn't see anything happen here. That's just the 1 damage he takes from dueling it. Okay. So we'll play a 2 drop. And now we should see the 1/1 just die. So we shouldn't see it on board. Perfect. Submit attackers. And let's play this 3 drop. The 2/2 should be down to a 2/1 now. Excellent. And when we take out these 4 drops, we should just see 2 4/2s on the board afterwards. Excellent. That should be working. That appears to be working from that testing. Excellent. And now we have the all. So if everything is about to get sprayed with some damage, I feel like just going party mode and just putting this up to like 10, but let's not be too silly here. So let's give this a test. So we'll keep that hand. Okay, so we play the 2-drop, we play the 2-drop, we attack and we attack, so we should see 46 HP for both users. Ooh. What happened there then? So we took out both users took out a 2-2. And now it's got action submitted waiting for opponents. Interesting. Let's just restart and try this again. Turn-based game. It's a CCG, in essence. It's just a CCG with a new mechanic which I've created, which is called the Duel. So if you want me to go through it, what we'll do here, it's normal CCG stuff, get rid of the mulligan phase. Okay, so you have your opponent's minions in what is considered to be your minion hand. So I have this 1-drop here, but this is going to be what my opponent duels, so 1v1s, not on Dust 2, in order to try and, you know, get some form of board presence. So we have to, because it's turn 1, and this is a 1 cost, so to speak, the cost referring to the turn which you can make it duel. So I can't play any of these other ones, but if I play this one, we've now got the opponent going up against a 1-1, and when they kill this 1-1, as is on here, this will summon to their board. So as you'll see, there we go, we actually saw the damage there. So that bug with the 2/2s was a bit interesting, so we'll give that a little look, a little review. Okay, we can't do that yet though. And as you can see, that killed the 1-1, which is good. Which is good. Okay, so what if 2 of these die at the same time? Well, these won't die at the same time, will they? However, we have got this bug again. So we've got this action submitted waiting for opponent. Ah, okay, that's because over here we set user.ready to false and op.ready to false. So this should only be the case if they've both died. So that was a mistake. So where is that? Up here? It is up here, right? No, it's down. Okay. As I have said, this is all just like for alpha. So yeah, isn't this like Hearthstone? Welcome to the stream boosted by devs. No, it's not. So I'll give you the basic rundown here, okay? You can decide for yourself. I mean, you know, I am the dev, so of course I would say no. But I'll let you decide for yourself. So I'm going to use one of these users off screen just because I just minimized everything. I just ruined everything. God damn it. Okay. So yeah, I'll let you decide. I'm going to use this on my other screen just purely because of the fact that it's kind of awkward if you see both of them at the same time, and it can get a bit confusing. So we've got this brand new mechanic which has not been used in a CCG as far as I know, and that is this duel phase, which sets it apart in my opinion. So you start off here with 2 base attack on your sorcerer, no weapon, no armor, and no gold. Okay, so already you'll notice that the attack and the gold are not seen in Hearthstone. A small thing as well, we've got 20 more health, but that's just because we've got the duel phase as well. So I'm going to mulligan away everything apart from this 2-drop. I like this 2-drop. I like keeping 2-drops. And I'm just going to do something very similar on the other screen with the other user. I should probably full screen this. Actually, it doesn't matter. Okay. So, at the moment, I don't have any playable cards because it's turn 1, and the smallest drop I have is a turn 2 drop. Now, when I play these cards, well, these aren't my cards to begin with. These also are just placeholders at the moment, just so you know. But this is my opponent's minion deck. These are my utilities, so I've got weapons and I've got spells. Again, all just placeholder for now. And these cost gold, which you get from killing minions. But at the moment I can't do anything, but the other person can. So this other opponent has a 1-drop, and this is from what I'll call my, because this is me, we'll say, from my deck. I have a 1-drop in my deck. Both users do, but don't worry about it. So I'm going to play this. Is it possible to play in turn 3 or turn 1 on turn 2 cards? Yes, it is, Dopman. But it's kind of tricky. You have to sort of top deck it, or like have other playable cards at each stage. But yeah, that is entirely possible. You could play a 1-cost card on turn 10. It's all kind of luck of the draw. And it is going to be something that I look at in terms of balancing as well. So I'm going to play this 1-1. And this guy, me, I now have to face this. I have to duel it. Now, if my opponent also had a card to duel, they would be doing that now as well. But they don't, because I only had a 2-2 to play to make them play. So when I kill this, it should only take 1 hit, because it's only got 1 health and I've got 2 attack. This will then get put onto my side of the board, which is like the second phase of the game. Now, if this was, let's say, the 10-10 or the 7-7, I wouldn't have a very good time. I would take a lot of damage, because I'd have to hit it once, take 7 damage, deal 2 to it, it would be a 7-5, etc. Now, hopefully by the time you get to something like a 7-7, you could afford, like, maybe even an average weapon, right? It's going to increase your attack by 3 for 2 turns, or for 2 uses. Now, the other thing here that's quite interesting is, if this was, let's say, a 5-5, okay? If this was a 5-5, and I have this highest damage spell and I could afford it, I could use that on the 5-5, and what would be put onto the board is a 5-5. It would have 5 health. But let's say I didn't have any gold, and I had to take down this 5-5. So I'd hit it once, it would go down to a 5-3, I'd hit it twice, it would go down to a 5-1, and then I'd kill it. What would summon to the board is a 5-1, because of the fact that I couldn't use anything on it, and thus it was a 5-1 just before it died. So I call that, at the moment, I'm calling that like the state before death. So if this 5-5, I had to hit it twice, it would summon to the board as a 5-1. A lot weaker than the 5-5 that it could be if I had gold to afford these. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'm just going to attack this and end the duel phase for both of these users. And now we have this 1-1 on the board. We can either submit it to attack or not. And if my opponent had cards here, kind of like in Magic the Gathering, that sort of board phase, they could block with it. They could also use a spell to kill this off with. So yeah, the board phase is kind of synchronous. There's a better way of me showing this, and that's if I just hurry up here and just let everything go through. Now that was the end of the turn. We're now on turn 2. So hopefully now, well, only this person now has a card to play. So the opponent is just waiting. So I'm just going to play this. And the opponent is now having to take down a 2-2. It's not too bad, they have 2 attack. So yeah. Now, just so you know, you might notice that the health totals are a little bit off at the moment. And once I kill this 2-2, there won't be anything on the board. That's because at the moment I am dealing with board entry effects. So when this 2-2 comes onto the board, it is going to deal 1 damage to everything on the board and the 2 users. So if you pay attention, this health bar should go down to 46 because he's taking the 2 damage, and then the on-board entry effect. Yeah, that's what I was trying to show, yeah. And this guy should go down to 47 health. So I'm going to attack that. Good, it works. So yeah, this is what I'm testing currently. Okay? So we'll end the duel phase, and now you'll see that 1/1 has gone because this, as I was testing, is dealing 1 damage to all minions. So that's kind of the aim of the game, and if we look in their void, here you'll see that they had a smallest minion. So yeah, that's kind of the aim of the game. Currently I'm working on board entry and board exit effects, and then I'll be working on passives. But yeah, hopefully that's a quick rundown. Not really that quick, but hopefully that's a decent enough rundown of what exactly the game is and what it's about, etc. And it's up to you now, I guess, to decide whether or not it's like Hearthstone. I don't particularly think so, but again, I'm the developer, and my points are invalid, pretty much. Cool game. Thank you very much, Dotman. Much appreciated. I forgot to say, though, welcome to the stream, and hope you're doing well today. But yeah, thank you very much. I like to kind of think of it as a bit more of a an RPG style CCG. Most other CCGs are just kind of, I don't know, they don't have that dueling aspect, which I kind of like. Because, you know, just because you've got some weird mana stuff, why are you able to, or you've got land, why are you able to play this? Why are you able to play this card? It doesn't make sense. Whereas here you're like, haha, I have defeated the great Elkarak, or something. And it then summons to your board. So yeah. How long am I programming? Well, for this game, I've been programming for about 2 weeks now. But in general, I've been coding for about 7 years and programming for a few less, sorry. Because obviously at the start I was just focusing on stuff like HTML, because I'm a web designer. So yeah, all of this is written in JavaScript and HTML and CSS for the styling. Hey Sasfog, how's it going, man? Welcome back to the stream, hope you're doing well again. Okay. That is long. It's quite a while, yeah. I was... How old would I have been? About 16? You just made your first game HTML5 based. Awesome, Dotman. That's pretty cool. This will be my first project properly. Like, I've had small projects that have never been completed, but this is a project which quite a few people are actually interested in and kind of want to see succeed and play, kind of thing. So yeah, I want to try and make this game work and hopefully release it at some point. In order to do so, I probably need to start concentrating. Okay. Yeah, any other questions, Dotman? Feel free. Feel free to ask. I've still yet to cover for my own illness. Really, Sasfog? Damn. Hope you get better soon, man. Hope you get better soon. Right, so what I need to start doing now then is checking for a target to deal this damage to. Thank you, Sasfog. Hopefully the stream will be a bit more consistent today. I don't know what it's going to be like because I'm going out this afternoon for a family meal, and I'm not sure how the day's going to run, but I'll try and stay streaming for as long as possible before then. Do I have a Discord account? I do. I'm in the process of setting up a Discord server, if that's what you mean, but I am on Discord, yes. So when we check for target, we want to show the board. So that whole process is pretty interesting. Thank you for the follow, man. Much appreciated. Hope you're doing well today. Thanks for popping in again. And thank you very much for the follow. So we need to check for the target. So there's a few phases to this, aren't there? So what we need to do is we need to show the board, request the user clicks on a minion or the op face. And then we need to handle this. So this is actually going to be quite interesting and quite tricky. Okay. So what we need to do here, where does this link up to? There. So let's copy this and paste. And if we set target here, what we will do is we'll have to emit something to the user. So we need to call user.socket.emit choose effect damage. This is going to be tricky. This is going to be really tricky. Jeez. Because we don't want to continue the game at all until the user has actually selected a target. Because usually what we do is we just run through, whereas here we don't actually want to do that. I suppose it doesn't matter too much, right? No. Okay. All we have to do is we have to pass through user.facing because that's the minion. So we need to pass through the minion as an object. I think that would almost be all we have to do here, because if we pass through the minion, what we can do when we show the board, we can just request that the user deals damage to it, to something, and then again pass through this user.facing. Okay. So user.socket.emit this, and what we probably need to do is do an op.socket.emit, waiting for opponent, and do waiting. No, this should be effect damage. Yeah. And then what we want to do is set an op.ready to true and the user.ready to false. Okay. So we do this waiting for opponent, effect damage. So waiting for opponent. So copy this. And effect damage. We want to set the text here to be waiting for opponent to declare target for minion board entry effect. Okay, so once we have done that, we need to call on the socket.on. So socket.on, what was it called? Choose effect damage target. Let's just copy that, paste it here, and we're going to call a function, and we need to pass in the minion. So what we're going to do here is we want to show the board. So these are the things that we need to be passing through here. So user board, op board, user attacking, op attacking stage, and self-playable actions. Okay. So where am I from? I'm from England. From the UK, from England. Okay, so we need to pass through these things here then. So we need to pass through user.board, op.board, user.attacking, op.attacking. The stage we don't need to set up, so null, and then the user facing. Okay, so we need to do this. You're from Amsterdam, awesome. Awesome. So where's my show board function? So we do this then, and if self-playable actions is not equal to false, so we need to set that to false rather. So self-playable actions is false, and then we need to check what this stage does, and that's just this bit, so that's fine. So I guess I do want to pass in no, we don't want to pass it in here, that's fine. Yeah. So what we do want to do is when we load the we want to make it so that any of the opponent's board or the opponent itself has an on-click effect. So what we want to do is say document.get elements by class name, and we want to get the elements with the class name that is what? Own board, op board, so anything Give me 1 second here. Alright, apologies for that. So, what I want to do then is say if our ID is document.getElement by ID. I could do this a different way. I want to get everything with the with an ID containing that it is an opponent card. So we'll just do a for loop, I suppose. Whoops. So we'll set let. No, I've not been using a lot of comments, which is really bad. I do need to start doing that. So let the ops be an array, and for let I equal op.board, no, sorry, 0. I is less than opboard.length I plus plus. We want to put these things into the ops array. So what we will do then is say so we're getting each of these things by the ID and we want to set them to have an on click, so we could do document ops.push document.getElement by ID, and it would be opboard plus I. So we push into this ops array the document.getElement by ID op.board plus I. So this will then give us an array of these things. However, we could and should not do that. What we should do is just call this document.getElement by ID board opboard plus I, and then set its on click to be a function, and this function should pass it, well, should be called damage target and pass in this.id. Okay, and this then needs to be a function over here, function damage target, passing in an ID, So what we need to do then is we also need to take in here the minion. Okay. And we also take in minion. And what we want to do is socket.emit target selected and pass in the ID and the minion. So when we go over here then, what we want to do is a socket.on, what was it called? Target selected. We want to pass in the function that we are passing in the ID and the minion, and we're going to call this in the socket handler dot target selected, passing in the socket, the ID and the minion. And then we're back almost to where we started here. So let's just go to the bottom here and call target selected is a function passing through a socket, an ID and a minion. Good morning, Ryan. How's it going? What we'll do is this, and we will set the... What we also need to do over here is also do document.get, whoops, document.get element by ID. Where was the opponent? What is the opponent's called? Load game board, load sorcerers. So we want to allow opt sorcerer to have an on click. Okay. Then what we do over here then is we say so the ID, find the pop thing here and paste. So this here is going to be position in hand is that. And then this is of the opponent. So what we're going to have to do is say op.minion. Whoa, no, this isn't position in hand. This is position on board. Whew. Position on board. So op.board position on board. Now we want to call an if statement here, and that is if op.board in a position pos on board dot defense is less than minion dot effect. Is that right? Minion dot effect. Yep, minion dot effect dot damage. Then what we want to do is do an op.board.splice in the pos on board for 1 else we want to do op.board position on board dot defense minus equals minion dot effect dot damage. Nope, dot numeric. Okay. So this should deal with the damage to the opponent board item here. Now what we then want to do is set user.ready is true, and this should allow us to move on to the next step. But I don't think that something here is going to be wrong. But we also need to come over here and say target. Now was it capital T or a small t? Find target. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, equals small t target. Okay. So let's restart the server and the clients here. Oh, well, one issue is the fact that over here we're not ever considering whether or not this is the opponent. So what we should say is if ID is not equal to op sorcerer, then we do all of this stuff pretty much. Else what we need to do is say if the op.sorcerer.hp is less than the minion.effect.numeric, then we need to emit socket or user.socket.emit game end, and for the user this would be a win, else for the opponent it would be a game end of loss. And what we're going to do here is say else what we will do. Hey Jimmy, how's it going? Hope you're doing well today. Else what we'll do is we'll just do op.sorcerer.hp minus equals minion.effect.numeric. And what we also need to call to do here, and what we should be calling to do up here, we need to do another socket emit, user.socket.emit update sorcerers, passing in the user.sorcerer and the op.sorcerer, and calling op.socket.emit update sorcerers op.sorcerer user.sorcerer. And up here what we want to do, how's progress looking? It's looking okay. We've got some of the board effects working. We're just on the last one for the board entrance now, which is selecting a target, which is substantially more complicated. I got the others pretty much done in about 10 minutes earlier. Yeah, things are looking good. How are you? So do we have Do we have to do an update board? Well, that would depend. I suppose that when we hit this target selected, or when we send away this target selected, what we want to do is hide the board. So, hey Wildcat, how's it going? Wow, we got a lot of returning visitors today. How's everyone doing? So we want to get document.get element by ID. Was I meant to put in a semicolon after the op sorcerer? Yep. Thank you. So we want to get the element by the ID of board. So where's show board? Find show board. Board container. Okay. So board container. Did you fix that bug we had last time? You'll have to expand upon that, because I don't remember the bug. Because I'm fairly sure we didn't have much of a bug. The only bug I imagined, I remember us having, was I think the bug was that we couldn't concede, and then I realised that the reason why was because I wasn't updating a file. But we'll have to check, because I'm fairly sure, like as sure as I'd like to be at this point, that we were fairly bug free. I don't know. But this is going to cause lots of bugs, this part. Yeah, this whole part here I'm fairly sure is actually just broken at the moment, because I'm fairly sure it won't work when I try and ask it to select a target here. Like, these should have definitely just asked me to select a target, but it didn't. Oh, but that's because I'm an idiot. So here what we need to do is copy this. And we need to call this here, I think it is. Is that right? User.sorcerer.hp minus equals numeric. We've then got 1, 2, so it needs to be the second. So it's actually meant to be here. Yeah. Okay. I don't think that one's needed. That one does that. Okay. I just copied nothing. Alright, let's have a see. Will this work this time then? The reason it didn't work before is because I was only counting it if we were killing it with a spell. So, yeah. So let's play these. Attack, attack. Everything's done. Right. So we've set this to be target now. Entry damage 1 target. So we shouldn't have this bit here, that's for sure. Let's just do a console.log target. and put the same down here. A little bit confused, but this will do. So yeah, guys, when we have finished this section of the game, we're gonna be looking pretty good. As I said at the very start of the stream, but nobody's ever here at the very start. Really? Okay. Something's definitely broken. We're pretty close now to probably having the play mode almost at a, playable standard. I just need to work on the passives and the board exit after this. So things are looking pretty exciting right now for me, or for us, I suppose. So I'm hoping to move things through pretty nicely into what will probably be something like a really closed alpha. So yeah, pretty exciting. Right. So user.facing.effect.type is damage, and the target is target. Target is target. Is this not hitting the right else if? It's not hitting the right else if. So I was right all along. I knew it. Now, does this all link up though? Yeah, no. We need another close bracket. Probably here. Okay, and that means that we also need to call it up here. Target's target. We probably need another closing bracket there. Whoops. Unexpected token else. On line 322, which means we don't need this one. So this should mean that this should now work with the target request. Okay, this is fine. It's saying that we cannot read the property length of null, which is fine. So the onClick here hasn't come to fruition. Okay, so game.js line 291. This will be an issue where it's trying to read the length of null. So, oh, down here. Now this is just saying though if op.length is bigger than 0. Oh, okay. So we're passing through the wrong thing when we call this then. So when we pass this through, yep, that would be... No, this would be fine. User board, op board. So is that an issue when we send this? So user.board, op.board. Oh, okay. Because we're not sending the minion until the last here. So that's a pretty easy fix. Okay. Okay. So we seemed to get to that point correctly there, which is always nice. So test. Okay. So if we play this, we attack it. We got target in there, so if we click that, there we go, we've done that 1 damage to it. Now, just because that's working makes me even more worried, because when we have 2 of them, well, both users facing something, it's going to be scary. So if I click on this, does that kill it? Okay. So it does the damage, it just doesn't remove it from the board. That's fine. Let's just fix that first then. So when we do the damage, it's not there. It's way further down than that. Oh, because this should be a less than or equal to, which I believe I've been making a huge mistake with the whole way through this whole section. Okay, that's fine. So we need to add an equal there, less than or equal, which means that up here, so up board, okay, that's fine. So it's here then, when we're comparing the sorcerer stuff, that we need to begin using this equals sign, because otherwise everything will live on 0 health, which well, we're necromancers, but not quite to that extent. That's a little bit too crazy for me. A little bit too crazy. Alright, so we'll remove that comment for now, because we're not using it too much. So we'll do this and this, followed by, where are you all? Here we go. Yes. And that should be all of them, I believe. Yep. Right. Yeah. So let's do this. And okay. So we'll attack that, we'll deal that to that. Okay. Now my biggest fear... Aha. So, yeah, that's one thing we also need to do over here. Apologies for the background noise, it's absolutely awful. We need to do... Where is it? So this board container dot remove. What we need to do is we need to do for let I equals 0, I is less than well, actually what we need to do, what we could do is we could say var cards equals document.get elements by class name cards, or is it card? I forget which way round it is. So we don't have the board at the moment, it's just card. Okay, so we want to set the every card to, okay, so document.get elements by class name. What we want to do is do I is less than cards.length, I plus plus, and say cards I dot on click equals nothing. And what we also need to do is say document.get element by ID op sorcerer dot on click equals nothing. Okay. So that is that part sorted. Now the only other remaining issue that I think will exist is when we have two things dying at the same time. My morbid fascinations and die. Okay, so we attack it. So yeah, what we should do, yeah. So if I kill that, we're waiting for opponent action now. And if this guy kills this, he can kill this 1/1, which is very unfair. So we need to handle this somewhat differently. So, how do we handle this then? I don't know. That's the short and sweet of it. I don't know. How would we handle it? What if we rule out the op.facing when we pass in that? So where we pass this in, if we... But the thing is, we're already setting the op.facing to null. What's a null? Aren't we? Yeah. No. Maybe. Think. So if the op.facing does get set to null, yeah, this is interesting. How do we go about this then? So what if we set another variable in this line bit here? So let's just say let temp equal null or equal false. Oh, it's dogs versus cats outside, boys. Okay, but this temp equal false, and what we could do is we could say if this temp is false, no, that wouldn't quite work, would it? Well then, what happens if we stop the opponent.ready being true? That's an interesting concept. That might actually fix it in a strange turn of events. Let's have a see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So they both have 1-drops. We attack it. Now, we shouldn't do this. Whoops. We shouldn't show this if the opponent can still attack their dual opponent. Perfect. Yeah, we just attack you. And we attack you. Yeah. That worked. Holy crap. Now let's just double check though, because what I want to do then is just do it like we did the first time, where we only do it for one user and then the other user just waits. So we'll do this and this. Ah, damn it. Ah, now there's an issue. You can actually accidentally skip it. Okay, that's fine. That's something to consider. Right, so we'll set a 1-drop here and a 3-drop here. So we'll attack that. And we can do that damage here. Yeah, we need to remove this though, right? We've got this action submitted waiting for opponent. And now we need to attack that. Yeah. So we've got a few visual bugs at the moment, but apart from that, we're kind of functioning. So there's quite a few visual issues currently. Okay. So here what we should do is if op facing is equal to if there's no op facing, then we do this. Is the first issue. Okay. So let's retry this. Okay, so we'll play the 1-drop, attack, hit the face. Now, we'll do this step by step. So here, this shouldn't have shown the end dual phase, whilst we still had this to do. So when we do this choose effect damage target, what I want to do then is do a document.get element by ID end turn button dot remove, and this will then do this, right? So that might break something, but that just means that we have to put the button back in somewhere else, which is fine. I'm more than happy to do that. Cannot read property remove of null. That's okay then. So we should just say then if document.get element by ID end turn button exists, then we do this. Okay. So we've probably then got to do this. Well, why is this end? Why is it coming up with an extra waiting for opponent box then? Let's see what that's all about. So we'll do this and this. Action submitted waiting for opponent. So this immediately goes through. So I guess what we also need to do over here is, if we have this emitted to us, do the same thing here. Remove the waiting for opponent thing. So let's restart again here. Okay, we've got nothing. Wow. Okay. Oh, we still had that end dual phase there, didn't we? I think we did. I'll have to recheck that. So we'll put a 4-drop here and a 4-drop here. We'll attack dual opponent, that's fine. This is still showing up though. Action submitted waiting for opponent. Thanks, Dogman. I'll see you next time. Thanks for popping in. So this is when our we kill the thing that we're facing, isn't it? Oh, I'm an idiot. So oh, we went to the wrong point there. That was lucky. Okay. So if op dot facing is equal to null, we don't do that yet, do we? So that's fine. Oh, so it's down here, isn't it? So what we need to do is say how would we do this? Well, if we say if we set the op dot ready to choosing, and then after we do this we set it to true. So what is the current issue? Oh, it's this action submitted waiting for opponent. Is that still a bug though? Because I done that change to the waiting for opponent stuff anyway. I'm not 100% sure. Ah, okay. So we need to update this waiting for opponent thing. So when we receive that they have done this, we set this user.ready to true, and then what we should do... Oh, why am I so stupid? And what we want to do here then is just set user.ready is true. Oh, we already do that. So we set the readiness of the user to true. So yeah, this shouldn't show this. So when we've done this, we should set it so that, so we need to do an op.socket.emit remove waiting for opponent, and on this simply what we're going to do is document.get element by ID waiting for op dot remove. Okay, let's give this another go then. Apologies for the bug fixing on stream, but I feel like this is kind of necessary at the moment. So we'll do this. Action submitted, waiting for opponents. We can't actually do anything else, so that's fine really. Attack dual opponent, hit that. Okay. So we need to say if document.get element by ID, whoops, waiting for op, and we'll do this again. So we've still got this end dual phase button, which shouldn't be possible to do. So where are we saying in this attack dual opponent to send this end dual phase. Where is this happening? Like, why is that coming onto the screen here? Find end turn button. End dual phase. So I think we show it, because otherwise it's just too much of a pain in the ass to get rid of. People want to be silly, that's fine with me. Did I just forget about them? Or did they actually... Oh no, I did screw up there, didn't I? Not sure. Hey, Skill 2 Level, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well today. Thank you for popping in. Much appreciated. So, is this working? Yeah, this waiting for opponent action shouldn't be showing up here, because I now cannot see very much. Yeah, so it's getting a bit screwy. This guy here should not have this. Quite simply. So this waiting for opponent to declare target for minion board entry is showing up incorrectly. So this This is interesting indeed. Well, again, just purely because I don't like streaming a load of bug fixing, I'm going to end the stream. Thank you all for coming out. Apologies again that so much of it was bug fixing. But that's kind of the phase that we're at the moment, which I guess is kind of good. We're at a phase of bug fixing constantly. Yeah. It's also best because today is obviously, as I was saying, a dodgy day. I'll try and stream as much as possible tomorrow, even if it is bug fixing, to make up for today's short stream and yesterday's no stream. So apologies for that. But yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.